Good day viewers, welcome back to my mom and girlfriend Shadow Blade. So here we are the next story, so let's see where this goes. Your Highness, this situation is getting vastly out of hand. We need to return to the Merfolk Kingdom at once. Like we are, everything's fine. It has been like this since we returned home. Delta and Isla start off lightly bickering, only the transition of the full-fledged argument. Everything is not fine. Your Highness, it is my sworn duty to protect you, and due to the limitation of this earthly world, I cannot properly dispose of your enemies. Like I'd want you to kill them anyway. Do you even hear yourself sometimes? Killing people, does that make you sick to your stomach? They're humans. What does it matter, Your Highness? They breed like rabbits. Kill one or five more take their place. I can't believe you. You're so messed up in the head. In the kitchen, I help Pearl her with her drawings. Cute crayon sketches depicting a happy, lovely trio. Not exactly accurate to the current situation. Pearl's been focused on this since she got home. Every now and then, I see her little face wrap. It's only for a moment, but I catch a glint on her eyes of sadness tugging at her cheek. Hey. Hi. Are you alright, Pearl? She sighed, looking at the living room doorway. It's been a while since they argued like this. Really? Yeah. But does it happen? Sometimes, mainly Isla that sometimes Delta thinks is dangerous. Although normally Isla brushes off pretty quickly, I haven't seen them argue this long in ages. Pearl, it's okay to get over it. Eventually. Even so, I probably should check out what's going on in the living room. I arrived just in time to watch a glass sail past my face and smash against the wall. What the? Isla behind the couch, glaring at Delta, who appears to be trying to restrain her. Your Highness, please. These shenanigans must come to an end. Screw you! I'm fed up with this. I'm fed up with you. You're hysterical. Please allow me to escort you to the bedroom. I'm fine. You're the problem? Does anyone want to tell me what's going on? Before you smash any more of my possessions? Isla points at Delta. She's the problem. I can't so much as blink without her steady. Ow! I'm doing it wrong. I had enough. I don't need someone directly every aspect of your life. With the greatest of respect, Your Highness, it is my duty to protect you. On occasion, I must make decision to assure not just your safety, but the safety of the Merfolk at large. Please understand, I'm doing it for your own benefit. Get a life! She screeched, cuts through whatever logical defense Delta had planned. Her words swept away Isla's tide of anger. Delta's mouth hangs open. I'm so sick of you! You have no idea! Every day, you constantly bemoan it and belittle me, thinking I'm not fit for the role of princess. Your Highness, that's not true. Anytime I try to make my own decision or do something that deviates slightly from what you have planned, you complain. You constantly tell me that it's wrong or I should have done things differently. Do you have any idea what it's like to have someone second guessing you every single moment of your life? I can't choose what to eat without wondering if you're gonna criticize the healthiness of the meal. I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up with you. So please, Delta, stop trying to micromanage my life. You're my guardian, not my conscience. And if you're too much trouble, then please, for the love of all the Merfolk, get a hobby, get a job, do whatever, but stop bothering me. And on that bombshell, Isla retreats upstairs. I'm left with a shocked Delta. No, shock is the wrong word. I'm left with instantly a blank slate. Delta stares into nothingness, her eyes black. If her chest didn't rise and fall, I'd say she was dead. Is she okay? Delta, you in there? Silence. Delta just stares outwards, the blackness ending itself to a twisted, curved expression. She turned away from me and plants herself onto the couch, burying her face onto one of the cushions. I don't think this is the best time to talk to her. Instead, I go back to the kitchen to help Pearl with her drawing. The dawn breaks, and with it comes another twist in the mermaid's tale. Delta, quit sulking and get your ass in here. I rub my tired eyes and emerge from my room, yawning as I do. Something's up. Finally, you're awake. Don't suppose you're hiding Delta in your room last night. Excuse me? She's not in the living room, so I figured she had to be somewhere else in the house. Pearl descended the stairs, her hair sticking up as if something had rubbed a balloon over it. She's not with you? We searched the house a few times, but of no sign of Delta. Well then, where is she? Even her trident is missing. Beep! What is it, Pearl? Don't you think Clyde got to her, do you? I almost have a laugh at that. If you tried, Delta would murder him. So no, I don't think it's that. But I think it has something to do with how Isla treated Delta last night. Excuse you? You didn't have to say those things to her. I get that she can be a bit overbearing, but she's only looking out for you. Oh sure, take her side. Tell you what, I'll transfer Delta to you. Then when she's questioning and criticizing every little decision you make, you can tell me how much fun it is. It can't be that 5 years. 5 years! I had to put up with her telling me what to do. I'm done. Tell her to get alive and leave me alone. Isla marches up the stairs, her footsteps reverberating throughout the house. Such in a force that the entire house seemed to be shaken under her weight. Not that I was implying her weight a lot. Good thing she can hear thoughts. Hey there. Let me deal with Isla. I think I can calm her down. Are you sure? Of course. She gave me a great big beaming smile. Trust me on this one. Alright, I'll go find Delta. She likes the ocean. Okay. I mean, you guys are merfolk. Yeah, but Delta really likes it. It's one of the few things I've ever seen her enjoy outside of being a bodyguard. You'll probably find her at the beach. Alright, I'll try that. Thanks, Pearl. She giggles. Anytime. With that information, I head off to find Delta. Pearl's information was right on the money. It doesn't take me long to spot Delta sitting at a short distance away from the lapping waves. If she stays there much longer, the water will brush up against her and expose her true form. In her lap rests her trident, beaming at the sunlight. Frankly, I'm surprised. Security guard hasn't tried to take it off her. I should probably sort this before things escalate. Yo! I call out to Delta and sit behind her. Blade? Can I help you with something? Just come to see how you were. I'm doing perfectly fine. You should return home. Her Highness should not be without protection. You know, you can stop worrying about her for a few minutes. You sound like her. Sorry? I imagine that must have been very cutting. Like someone had stabbed me with my own trident. Honestly, opening up. This is not the Delta I'm used to, and it takes me a few seconds to go over her word to make sure there wasn't something technically valued threat to humanity hidden somewhere within them. Are you okay? No, Blade, I am not. She pulls her leg closer, wrapping her arms around them. Isla is not like other princesses. She accepts their role and fulfill them to be the best of their ability. She fights what have been given to her, using only when she deems necessary. Isla fights it. She will always be a free spirit, someone who refuses to bound by convention and tradition. She refused to attend ceremonies, and Alice refused to countship of potential partners. This is best attitude. It clashes with my role completely and utterly. It has been a tradition for my family to guard the royal family ever since we helped them to unite the kingdom of so long ago. It has been my duty and my honor. Now that Isla has found herself, however, she's shaking off the last of her tradition forced upon her. She's becoming her own person who doesn't need my watchful eye, which I suppose I need to become my own person, to branch off, to find hobbies as Ista told me to do. But she looked down willingly her hand. I don't know what to do. That was a lot of outpack. Detta was opening herself like that, displaying her raw emotion like some contemporary art exhibit. Where do I go from here, Blade? Why are you interested in what you've got to say? Aren't you just a human? Maybe, but maybe I need a new outlook of things. Someone to help me figure myself out. If that's something you can do, Blade. Sure thing. I offer my hand to Delta. Come on, let's have a look around town. She smiles at me. Not that for some controversy, but there's a genuine smile there. It's heartwarming to see. Thank you. Anytime. The town is pretty busy today. People rushing to and from the stores. A few street performers entertain with song and juggling. I point them out to Delta. That's something that interests you? Goodness gracious, no! Do I look like some court jester? Why not? Performers are quite respected. Too much of a drop in status. So status is still important to you? Of course! I am a member of the Royal Guard. I cannot be seen doing some demeaning tasks. No offense. None taken. That and I look into the window of the employment agency. Window washer, debt collector. Oh, you know we got at fixing things, Delta? I was trained to break things, not mend them. Seriously? Tough crowd, alright. I'll think you something else. We step around several store window, looking inside of something that might strike Delta's eye. With about a camera, filmmakers, and quite a respectable profession, plenty of residue to be earned. I doubt I am capable of learning the arts of cinema, but the idea of creating something is quite appealing. Writing, you got an interesting manner of speaking. Are you mocking my vocabulary? Of course not. I don't feel like I would be easy behind a writing desk. Remaining still for so long would trouble me. Well, I don't have many of other ideas. We reach the end of the street, where only a sole bakery rests. What a particular smell! It's truly touched the senses. Alright, the bakery. We look inside the window, where one of the bakeries is laying off the fresh rack of rolls. Do you like cooking? I never tried, but it's look most enjoyable. I would need to consider this. For now, however, we should return home. Yes, we should. Thank you, Blade. You opened my eyes today. And with that, she set a gentle kiss upon my cheek and begins to walk home, leaving me standing there, a blushing, stammering idiot. The next day, I can't believe such an acting talent. Zip it! Blade is a tree! Blade is a tree! Data scientist work in the corner and I gobbled to myself. This co-play is due to take place this night. Apparently, all the hype about mermaid has inspired the school to perform a play about them. Isla is playing the mermaid, Delta is the prince, Pearl is the playing a jellyfish. Well, that's too Pearl to be more precise. And I'm a Adam Tree. So much fun! Well, Blade, you're gonna give us a taste of your acting. Come on, show us how the tree acts. Okay, I'm a tree. A tall, strong tree. I will eat your baby. What? The tree eat babies. Wrong. Trees don't talk, stupid. Anyway, Blade, if you're not busy, then I need your help practicing my lines. You know, considering I have lines. But I want to play the board game with Blade. Tough, he's helping me. Right, Blade? Fine. Girls, I'll see you back at home. Come on, Blade, let's go. Isa lead into the empty classroom. Can't believe I got cast as a mermaid. The luck of that. You think someone had planned this? I still don't get why we're doing a play about mermaids. Maybe a freaky fish guy convinced them to change things up. Nah, I don't think so. Besides, not like he's gonna have a lot of influence on the school. They probably just cut mermaid the hype after seeing the photo. We're lucky that hasn't picked up any more attraction. Even the news didn't bother reporting it to it. Guess it was a bit too unrealistic even for them. I guess you're right. Come on, let's get practicing. Who wrote this stupid script? Using the power of love, I shall transform you to a mermaid to human? That was a way we might be together forevermore, and you shall be free for the curse that plunged you for so long. As we ever say that? Has it ever happened though? What of the merfolk turning into a human and never going back? I know there was somebody who did it. Really? Yeah, it's a legend among the merfolk. They ventured to the human surface and remained a human so long their body forget to become a mermaid. One day when they tried of humanity, they tried to return home and they end up drowning. Jeez. So yeah, fun story time. Do you ever see yourself doing that? To her credit, Isla managed to not to laugh. Nah, I have to return home as soon as at some point. I'm a princess after all. For good. She hesitates. Huh? I guess I end up missing you in a great deal. My heart beats a little bit faster. Yeah, I think I'll miss you too. A sun enveloped us as we both struggle to find our next words. Want to get back to practicing? Yeah, sure thing. I have a feeling there are more to be said here. But for another day. A few days later, we getting ready for our first performance. I stand vigilantly on the stage, watching the curtain as drawn-in show begins. The school play never really attracted that many people, so it never take me long to survey the audience. A few scared parents, a bored sibling in his phone, and a fish guy! Clyde is here! Sitting in the audience, his arm crossed. There's even a bandage around his head. I can't read his expression from here, but he seemed to be holding something in his hand. I got to warn Isla and the others, but it's too late. The overlight had blasted the stage with a spectacular glow. Woi, it's me! Isla enters the stage right in her. I am but a mere mermaid seeking to become a human. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long night. I hope Clyde doesn't do anything. A couple of hours later, and Amberly will drop dead for boredom. Most of the audience asleep or drifting on their own chairs. All except Clyde, who has been watching with attention. We're approaching the end of the play now. I guess my fear was all for nothing. For you see, I have secret to share with. A terrible dark secret I vowed never to repeat. I am, and always will be. I see Clyde's arm move swiftly. A quick dawn I never seen one. In his hand, he's clenching a small plastic object. A water pistol! Shit! A mermaid! She cries out as she voice roaches the audience members from their slumber. Water stood against Isla's face and chest. She recoiled silently, attempting to wipe it off. But it's too late. Her leg glowed beneath her before giving away. She toppled to the floor, a scaly mermaid tail hanging out beneath her. Oh great, exposed from the entire audience. I can't move! Terror grips my heart and stage burned into my eyes. We failed. Isla been exposed. Not good. Burying the stage light. Cries of our shock color with surprise from the crowd. In the center of all, a grinning Clyde, water pistol clenched in his hand. We failed! I failed! Isla looked around in the stage, struggling to hide from the crowd, but it was too late. And now, holy crap! That was awesome! The room breaks into applause. The 20 of the people gather, stand, and start clapping madly. Students and teachers gathered in the hallway entered there to watch the commotion. Once they spot Isla, they all break into applause. Those special effects are amazing! These are best performance yet! It was like a real magic! You guys rock! I don't believe it! Do they think we planned this? Clyde's smug face dropped, and he looked around at the cheering crowd. Then for the exit. I motioned to Delta, who nodded and starts after him. And so the prince and the mermaid live happily ever after, forever in the arms of another. Thank you, and good night. The curtain drops to another round of rousing applause. A few of the performers rush over to Isla. Wow, so cool! And the tail feels so real! Alright guys, that's enough. I pick Isla and gently carry her off to the back room. There, I seize a nearby towel and begin drying her off. That was stroke of luck. Luck! We could have been exposed! If he'd struck at any time, we'd be finished. The merfolk would be revealed to all. I'm such an idiot. Hey, come on. You know this wasn't your fault, right? Who would have expected Clyde to show up here? I should have. I need to be more prepared for a situation like this. She sighed. Delta was right. Hey, I wrap around her in the shoulder. We can't be prepared for every single moment. But Clyde was wasted the element of surprise. Now we can take him down. Say, where's Delta? Oh, I sent her to pursue Clyde. Her jaw fell open, concern melding into her face. She trembled for a moment as remembering some awful memory, or perhaps experiencing some dark future. Or the course to the sending Delta after Clyde was probably the worst decision I ever made. Oh God, what have I done? Come on, we have to stop her. Ethan leg returned and jumped onto her feet. We burst out of the room. A few students begins walking home through the darkness. Isla and I search for some kind of trail of sight. I grind and pain give also to the chase, and we power into the alleyway. Delta holds Clyde against the wall. The trident heels pressing into his neck. Her hangs high in the air. No, because of his feet below. Pearl stand off to the side, perhaps to ensure how to react to this sense. Die! Delta! Seize this at once! Your Highness, this man is a threat! A grave one at that! He attempted to reveal your identities to everyone present. Our identities. Delta gaze hardens, like the ground shifting away to reveal the solid surface underneath. Clyde shakes her arm against her grip, coughing violently. Hey Blade, you're not going to let her kill me, are you? Delta pushed in the hands now, the cold pressing straight up against her Adam. Oh, please, no more. Alright Delta, he has enough. This freaky fish guy isn't going to cause us any more trouble. Your Highness, I am enacting my duty as your protector. That overrides any commands you give me. So please step back as I do not wish you to get out of your clothes. Oh, no, oh God. Oh. Delta clamped a hand around Clyde's mouth, seizing his nose shut and she did. That's enough from you. You've always caused my friends as me as much as pain and frustration. You will bother us no more. I'm actually going to do it. She's actually going to kill him. No, I can't just stand by and let this happen. If Isla can't convince Delta to stand down, then I have to do something. I stepped forward and seized Delta's arm. Her muscle tense and I met with an incredible amount of resistance. What do you think you're doing, human? Release me! She tugs, trying to free herself from my iron grip. Okay, maybe calling it ironclad was a bit too much for a part of the back. But I gripped her as hard as I could, trying to reach away from Clyde. Enough! You can't hurt us anymore, can he? He does killing, he accomplished exactly. It makes it there's no chance of rehabilitation. We were fortunate this time, but allowing this scum to live only invite further challenge. No longer! I will not allow her highness to be harmed! Delta raised her trident high and Clyde access to the ground. She points towards him, driving them down with a terrifying amount of speed. She sends a final setting over the alleyway, improved more millimeters from Clyde. And then, enough! I seize Delta's hand and she freezes up. What? Human? Let go of me. Not a chance. You are persistent, I will give you that. But this man, she points to Clyde, who's looking at about to start weeping, will bring ruin to us all. I'm ending this. I squeeze her hand and she freezes it once more. Blade! So do you guys need a moment or? I ignore Isla's statement, instead focusing on the Herculean murder machine. Killing him won't make things any better. And this certainly won't make you feel better. Isla is fine. Let's just go home. Her strength drips away and her trident falls softly to her side. It looks like she wouldn't marry in the bloody ceremony today. You, she points at Clyde. If you attempt to rip apart my family again, I will end you with a thought. Do you understand me? Yes. Then get out of my sight. He does just that, scrambling against the evidence and feeling back towards his aquarium. Delta stands softened and she leans against me. Thank you, Blade. I have a horrible feeling I nearly did something very regrettable. Anytime. I smiled and gesture a weakly mimicked. Delta and Blade sitting on a tree. KISS. Finish that and you perish. She shuts up but maintains a cheeky grin. Alright, time to head home. Just a few hours later, I'm furious noises coming from the kitchen. These seem to be common these days. First Isla, now Pearl. Logic deduction is going to be none other than Delta hiding in the kitchen. Yawning, I spring forward in bed and make my way downstairs. I walk into what I can only describe as a storm of epic proportion. Batter spew for the untended mixture, dousing me with showing of eggy liquid. Smoke below from the oven, dark choking cloud that wraps the room up in an evil smug. And at the eye of this maelstrom, Delta makes away in the clean all available. Hey, Blade, can you help me with something? I was just wondering what you're doing in the kitchen at this hour. What does it look like? I'm cooking. I rush to switch off the oven before it madness the flavor from the extra spice. I think I've been in the fast food restaurant which violate fewer health standards than this. You question my talent? Their existence, yes. Delta sign settling down the bowl and leaning against the counter. I apologize, I didn't mean to wreck your kitchen. I have not been dealing with the situation as well as I should have. Hey, you doing okay? Not particularly, no? Today's events coupled with the everlasting sense of dread. Things have not been easy for me past few hours. Look, this should be okay now. We stop him. Everything's going to be fine. I wish I'd shared your sense of optimistic, but I believe me, I don't. He's still out there, probably plotting his next move. We have no reason to trust a man who attempted to expose Isla in such a way. And I find myself feeling very conflicted. She sat down at the kitchen table and I joined her. I should have killed him. Swiftly ended it, there and then. Isla would have hated me, perhaps. Pearl, I doubt that she would ever speak to me again. But we all be safe. Any threat would have been neutralized. Everything would have been fine. The consequences have been too great. Isla and Pearl never talk to you again. Is that something you could live with? Of course! For the safety of our highness, no cost is too high. I don't think you believe that. Regardless, the dread hasn't left me. What dread? That the freaky fish guy will strike once more. And this is more dangerous than you realize. She pointed at me with a still finger. If you come for us, they will come for you as well. Who's they? Humans who have hunted my kind. The few who knows of our existence, the one who have struck against us in the past and will continue to do so. They've never taken live mermaid before, and they won't stop until they have one. You never mentioned these human hunters before. I believe us to be safe and secure. As long as we keep a low profile, we'll be fine. But we have been exposed. Talk to what happened to the traitor will reach pickering ears, and then it will be too late. They will come for us. If you stand in their way, protecting us as you have before, they will take you down as well. Those people show no remorse. Believe you me. I'm sure her spirit drool. I wonder if I can do something for her. Alright, look. I get how much this is bugging you. I'm suggesting you all these is try to get your mind off things. It gave me something to do. Besides, ever since I passed by a bakery, I felt a certain urge inside of me. A yearning to break out my shell, I guess. I feel like cooking something. Well, burning down a half neighborhood probably isn't the best way to start with that. How about we start off with a simple recipe? Like a cake. Cake sounds good. Perhaps we could ever enjoy her highness and Pearl. Yup, cake are great for sharing. We are going to need to butter, eggs, milk. I list of the ingredients and we dig through the remnants of the kitchen searching for them. Gee, you really did number of this place. I apologize. Pearl will clean up tomorrow. You won't. I'm a royal protector, not a handmaiden. I thought you were looking to do something different with yourself. Yes, baking, not cleaning. Delta. Fine, I shall remove the place. Good. See, you're improving already. You'll never find your body. What? Leaving the creepy outside, we get to work. I take Delta through the steps and slowly explaining once to her. Teaching her how to break eggs and not to see fire the house. Surprisingly, she looked at me quite quickly. That I say, she took it like a fish to water. Alright, never mind. Wow, you did well. A few minutes later, and beautiful piece of cake awaited in our consumption. May we eat it now? Nope. Gotta let it cool down. Ah, wow. Actually, motion. She giggles. If it please you, I can act happy and I'm choking my life from you. I just Blade. But I'd like you to take a moment to thank you. Thank me? For taking the time to teach me. I am far from attaining the rank of master. But thanks to your effort, I might one day make something for myself. Something more than senseless warrior. So thank you. She leaned forward and plants a brief kiss on my cheek. I, being the hormonal teen than I am, reddened like a tomato. No problem? Anyway, my demons are satisfied. I shall clean for all this tomorrow. Until then, good night, Blade. Night, Delta. Sleep didn't come easy to me. My heart hums away in the darkness in a steady beat of trouble. I didn't want to think about it, but the words Delta had stayed for a while, thought about the girls and now time together could have come to an end, just like that. Was it really in danger? Or perhaps the end? No, I didn't feel like that. The dark truth lingers the very of my mind, talking towards me like a slowly advancing danger. This wasn't an end, not yet! Okay guys, so until next, for the video, but that's for now, hope you enjoy. So, shall we make another video? Goodbye.